The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Yes, guys, this is a special report. This is a special live. I haven't really been too good this year about going live during the week. So if there was ever a day, if there ever existed a day where I should be live at this time, during the week, is definitely today. So that's what we're doing here on True School Sports. Good to be here. Shout out to everyone that's here. Shout out to everybody that's going to be here. And shout out to everybody that's watching the playback. If you're watching the playback, make sure you smash that like button. If you're watching the live right now, make sure you smash that like button because, man, oh, man, we've been waiting a long time here on True School Sports for this one to get announced. I mean, I can remember as far back as last year, like I'm talking about like the middle of last year when I first brought this fight up. We've been talking about this fight, so it's good to finally have great news in boxing. Stephen Fulton versus Naoya Inoue is official for May the 7th. Thank the Lord for that. And I'm gonna drop some news on you guys here. I got some news for you guys. I want to really give a special shout out to everybody who's contributed to the GoFundMe. I haven't really been pushing it as hard, but I've gotten a lot of support with that, and I am happy to announce that as of today, as of this morning, I booked my flight to Japan this morning. So I am going to Japan. So Yokohama, Tokyo, the whole of Japan, you get ready because BT's coming. True School is coming. We're bringing the South Florida to Japan. It's officially happening, and there's no turning back now. I've went ahead and booked my flight. So really, really, really happy that first domino has fallen for me as far as getting my trip in order. I still got to get a couple things in order before then, but at least we got the flight. So gonna have to email Top Rank tonight and now push for those press credentials. And we'll see what happens. But it's about time. It's about time, But before we get into this fight, because there's so much that, listen, guys, this is probably only going to be a 1 hour live. I'm not planning on making this a 2 hour live because I got an important phone call after this. But there's a lot of things to cover, But before we get into it, let's really just acknowledge the comments in the chat because we got some great people here. So we got my main man, longtime viewer, Jesus M in the building. He says, "Saludos, BT. Saludos, Jesus. Hope all is well with you, champ. Good to see you." Thomas H. He says, "What's up, BT? About time I know I get a shot at more belts. And dang, the monster is coming up yet another weight class. And congrats on getting the fight out." Well, no, I gotta really give the people that have supported me all the credit. I didn't get a ton of money in my GoFundMe, but I got enough to get me a flight up out of here. So it definitely paid off. So I'm glad. And while I'm there, I really don't know how long I'm gonna be there. I'm only planning it for maybe 2.5 weeks, but who knows? Whatever direction God points you to, that's how long I'll be there. But right now, at this moment in time, it's only gonna be 2.5 weeks. But yeah, man, the monster, and that's the great thing, right, Thomas? That's the beautiful thing about Inoue and Fulton is I think both of them, they are the opposite. They are the antonym to a lot of things that have went on in boxing, with Crawford and Spence, even with Ryan and Tank for a period of time. There was no dragging of the feet. There was no real marination for this fight. Both these guys are in their prime. Both these guys are at the peak of their powers. They're not waiting for each other to age out or anything like that. And that's what we want in boxing. We don't get matched like this quite enough, and it's unfortunate. But when we do get them, we got to cherish them. And if you're a content creator like me, you got to make sure you do your job and you push these kind of fights because you got to send a message to the boxing world that these are the kind of fights we want. You got to send a message to the promoters that these are the fights that will be rewarded with coverage extensively on channels like mine. And that's just what it's got to be. So, yeah, man, Inoue Fulton. It's the road to Inoue Fulton here on True School Sports. And honestly, it hasn't sunken in yet. It hasn't even sunken in yet that I'm going to Japan because I've literally been I've been dreaming about going to Japan for a long time, and it hasn't sunken in yet that I'm going to Japan. So we'll see. But you know, I'm not gonna say too much right now, but I'm gonna make a couple pit stops before I go to Japan. I'm gonna be leaving for Japan in late April. So I'll let you guys know when that happens. But before I go to Japan, I'm gonna make a couple pit stops. So expect to see me on the West Coast here, and the West Coast there, in the lead up to me flying out to Japan. I'll leave it at that. But we got my man Dundada in the building. He said, True School Sports, BT, you're a real boxing channel. Everyone else is TMZ. Thank you, man. And I gotta say, man, I appreciate comments like that. It's hard being a real boxing channel. Sometimes the real don't get rewarded. Sometimes the real go through more than the fake. But you know, I have a responsibility to be here, so we're here. So thank you, man. Yeah, exactly. No, and this weight class, right? Like Fulton and Inoue. Every time I hear, because I'm not gonna say no channels names. We're not gonna give nobody no like True School Sports clout. You know, I've given too many channels clout saying the names of my channel. But like sometimes I'll be on YouTube, right, and I'll see that channels are live, and I'm like, man, they still talking about Crawford Spence. They still talking about Jerron Ennis and all these kind of things. And I'm like, man, y'all really don't like watch this sport or follow it outside of 2 or 3 fighters. Like there's so many things to talk about. Like there's 18 weight classes. There's 4 champions. There's like 10 to 15 contenders. I mean, there's so many stories out there. How many times can you talk about the same things? And then they disrespect, 122, 115, and 108. And these are really the only weight classes where things are happening. So yeah, it's a lot to talk about. But I don't want to waste too much time waffling around here. Let's get to the to some of the things I wanted to talk about, and you guys can give me your feedback. I'll be here for I'll be here till the top of the hour, and we can go ahead and oh shit, hold on, my man Thomas showing some love. Hold on, man. We ain't done this in a minute because I haven't really been live a whole lot, and then when I've been live, I haven't been getting a lot of super chats. But just for Thomas, because that's a big super chat. Just for Thomas, we're gonna give him the big bad booty daddy, Scott Steiner. Put these hoes in the Steiner recliner.
Do the bump and grind, and it's only a matter of time because they call me the big bad booty daddy.
Bad booty daddy. Shout out to Thomas for the $20 super chat. He says, "Here's some US dollars, and hopefully you get a good exchange rate into yen." Yeah, I was looking into that. I've been looking into that for a little bit of time now. Yen is the dollar is pretty strong. It's not like it doesn't cost a lot to eat there and things like that. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of homework on Japan. There's a anime store up the street from my house. There's a Japanese barbecue spot up the street from my house. So I gotta practice for Japan. Go to some Japanese spots. By the way, thank you though. I got two member says people like H Mob and TBV who say Inoue Cholatito are full of shit. Cholatito's in his own words. I've been offered a fight with Inoue, but with a low purse, which does not suit me. The problem is the purse. It all depends on the people from HBO. Yeah, I made videos about that when it happened. That's not like new news to me. Now you're not wrong. Like that did happen. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because I want to get to Inoue Fulton. That's past news. But like, yes, there was an offer made to Cholatito, and he was trying to get $1 million payday because when he was made that offer, he was the #1 fighter in boxing, and they didn't even want to give him $1 million for a fight. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine training your whole life, being the best you could be, going to the gym every single day, sweating, sparring, running hills, doing the thing with the sledgehammer on the tires? Could you imagine doing all those things? And you go like 40 something to 3-4 division champion, the top of the sport. After Mayweather retires, and they don't even want to give you $1 million purse, so he was right to turn it down. But Inoue did avoid Roman Gonzalez. That is a fact. He was at 108. Roman Gonzalez is at 112. He went up to 115 to fight Omar Narvaez. That is a fact. So make it that what you will. I'm not gonna go back and forth because I beat this like a dead horse before, but that's my thoughts on the situation. Oh man, listen, this channel has been brought to you in part by Thomas, man. Thomas out here sponsoring the channel right now. Before I get to his comment, he said he wants the sponsors back. Let me see. Where is it at? Where's that clip at? Where's Drell Miller at? Big baby, where you at? Here you go. So Big Baby, Jarrell Miller, former heavyweight contender. Tell us who the sponsors of the unofficial sponsors of True School Sports are.
Vienna sausage cinnamon buns, Wonder Bread, Kool-Aid with no motherfucking sugar.
Kool-Aid with no motherfucking shit. That's right. Talk to him, Big Baby. Talk to him. Hey, what's funny, Thomas? I actually seen Big Baby recently in here in Florida. He was training because he's got a fight coming up in like about 10 days from now on the 18th, 12 days from now. I should have asked him when I saw him, man. I was with him for like an hour. I can't believe I forgot to ask him, like, you know, did you really have Kool-Aid with no motherfucking sugar? Like, how does that work? How does that work, champ? You know, so next time I see him, I gotta make sure I go ahead and ask him that. But thank you, Thomas. You're greatly appreciated, man. But anyway, getting into what I wanted to talk about, because I know I've been waffling around here a little bit. By the way, shout out to everybody here watching live. And if you're watching on the playback, make sure you smash that like button. It's your boy BT, Brendan Taylor, the untouchable True School Sports, Japan-bound True School Sports. The road to Inoue Fulton, the biggest, baddest, and best fight in boxing right now. Yes, sir. We here. So let's go to it, man. Screen share. So I only got 3 things I want to talk about. The three tweets. I'm gonna spend my time on each one. So if you comment, you know, I don't get to it right away. Just be patient. Let me cook and I'll get your comments in due time. But this is a formal announcement today from Top Rank. There you see it, guys. It's not a fantasy anymore. It's not a figment of our imagination. Naoya Inoue is fighting Stephen Fulton, and it'll be on ESPN Plus. Now, obviously, Stephen Fulton is a Al Heyman fighter. He's a PBC fighter. To my knowledge, and anybody who knows more than me, because, you know, I don't claim to know everything, but I don't remember Stephen Fulton ever really fighting on the ESPN Plus platform before. So this is actually kind of good for him. It's great for him because he's going to have more eyeballs on him. And if he comes out here and he beats Naoya Inoue, Stephen Fulton, I think, is going to become one of the most popular fighters in American boxing. I mean, he kind of already is to a point with the hardcores. But he goes out there and he beats Inoue. That's going to be just different. And, you know, I really hope, you know, right now they just announced the fight like today. It's March the 6th. This fight's May the 7th. So we're talking about 60 days. So my thing is this. I'm going to be keeping a very, very close eye as to, like, what's ESPN going to do for this fight so far as, like, promotion is concerned, so far as, like, getting this out there to the public, because, you know, 60 days isn't a lot of time for a fight like this. You know, for guys that maybe aren't as known to general sports fans, I really do think, you know, maybe they should have given it more time to promote. But hey, they feel like they feel like this is ample amount of time. So if they feel it's ample amount of time to promote, then I better see some promotion. I better see Naoya Inoue with a translator via satellite on First Take. I better see Stephen Fulton in studio, because the First Take studio, I think, is in Connecticut or New York. It's whatever, but that ain't too far from Philadelphia. So I want to see Stephen Fulton in the studio. I want this to be one of the biggest fights in boxing, because I feel like if it's promoted properly, it can be that. And Naoya Inoue, we know, is going to draw crazy numbers out there in Japan. I was reading an article earlier saying that they're expecting like 2 billion viewers or some crazy number in Japan for this fight. You know, Stephen Fulton just has to. I think the American public will take to Stephen Fulton. He just needs to be promoted more. So we'll see what happens. I just want to see both these guys get their fair shake as far as promotion's concerned. I know they're gonna get compensated because Inoue is like Tom Brady out in Japan. He's like LeBron James. I believe Inoue is getting like just south of 6 million. I think Fulton's getting like damn near 3 million, if not 3 million. So something like that. So I kept my numbers off right now. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I did a video about it like weeks ago. So you know, good to see that, you know, both guys are gonna get proper promotion, you know. So yeah, for those of you wondering too, right? Because I did hear this become a big point of discussion on a couple other YouTube channels. Like I was listening to my main man, Cali X Boxing 2.0. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Cali X Boxing 2.0. I don't really watch a lot of channels because I'm always busy with my own channel. But when I do, he's one of the channels I go watch. He was talking about this earlier, and he made a great point, because this fight's supposed to be on May the 7th, or Sunday here in America. I believe Canelo's fighting John Ryder May the 6th. So that's going to be a loaded weekend, guys. you're going to have Canelo making his hometown or his homecoming to Mexico. It's the first time he's been to Mexico in over a decade, fighting John Ryder, which, you know, a lot of people aren't excited about. I am. I think it's a great fight, but I'll be in Japan. I won't I won't even be worried about John Ryder or Canelo. I'll be in Japan, so my mind will be occupied with this. But that'll be probably nighttime. This will probably be in the morning. So, you know, it's gonna be a loaded weekend, and I just hope that this fight gets the coverage it deserves, and it doesn't get drowned out by Canelo. I'm kind of pissed off, honestly, that Hideki Ohashi and the people promoting this fight, like that they're even putting it so close to a Canelo fight. Because look, you guys know I'm not the biggest Canelo fan, but I'm not delusional either. Like, he's a big star. He gets a lot of attention, and it's hard to compete with Canelo as far as garnering attention in boxing. It just is. He's still one of the draws of the sport. So, you know, I'm happy the fight is done. Like you will not get a single complaint from me about the fight getting done. But as far as promoting the fight, I would have liked this fight to not be on the same weekend as Canelo's homecoming to Mexico. That's just me. But you know, I digress. You know, now the next two tweets, guys, and shout out to everybody here. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, super chat. We here, the road to Japan, the Inoue Fulton. I got two more tweets I'm gonna go through, and then I'll just interact. I'll interact with you guys' comments for like the next hour. Boxing ID, you know, formerly of Boxing Social, Robert Tebert. He said, reminder that Stephen Fulton will be Naoya Inoue's 20th consecutive world title fight in his fourth weight class in 25 fights. A true modern day phenomenon. And listen, let's really take some time to unpack that, guys, because you're talking about 25 professional fights. You're talking about 20 fights at the world championship level. Now, I made a video about this like 2020 about why Japanese fighters seem to progress a little bit faster than most of the world, because they have like they really do prioritize and try to win those regional titles, like the OBPF belt. They try to win that early as possible, because when they win that belt, it gets the ranking position. So like these guys like Inoue and Kosai Tanaka and these type of fighters, they're winning that OBPF title early, and then it's putting them in the rankings, and they're getting a title shot like quick. And then the impressive thing is not only did Inoue get the title shot quick, but, you know, he scaled these weight classes and he's just been beating up on everybody. He's been on a warpath pretty much his entire career. Now, there is that criticism of Inoue that, you know, he didn't fight none of the guys at 115 when he was there. And, you know, that's fair. You know, I've been that guy before, but he more than made up for it by going undisputed at 118. And now he's definitely more than making up for it by fighting Stephen Fulton with no tune-ups in his first fight at 122. Like, guys, and I can't speak for anybody else, I'll speak for me. Like, when I watch boxing, because, like, you know, especially now, like, for those of you who don't know, by the way, I want to drop some information here. I just started training again recently. Like, I've been training damn near every day for the last like damn near 10 days already. I've been training down here where I live with my boy Eric Lances Jr. You know, shout out to Eric Lances Jr. You know, 10-1, coming off that tough loss to Jerry Perez, but a good fighter, and definitely someone that I still think has a bright future in the sport. I've been training with him like every day for the last week and a half. Him and another fighter by the name of Fresley Ruiz, who's like 7-0 from Nicaragua. And I'm telling you guys this because I've been in the gym like every day. I've been working hard, training hard. I'm talking about, like, you know, hit the sledgehammer thing with the tire. I'm talking about, you know, 7 rounds on the pads. You know, 4 or 5 rounds shadow boxing, you know, another 4 or 5 rounds on the bag. Then we're talking about, you know, push-ups and sit-ups. And then we're talking about a 2 or 3 mile run. So, you know, I say all this to say that being in the boxing gym and putting myself through the grind of training, it makes me realize that, like, it reminds me that these fighters put so much into boxing. They put so much just to get to a certain level. And boxing is, as for the fighters at least, it's a daily sport. It's a sport of daily trials and tribulations. You're dealing with things outside the ring, things in the ring, your weaknesses, getting, you know, just all kinds of stuff going into the ring. So you ultimately want to be the best person you could be, the best fighter you could be. And the thing is, what winds up happening is when you go to the gym, you train long enough, you get pushed by, you know, hopefully a good trainer and a good coach. you had that decision to make, which is, am I going to push myself to be the best I can be on this particular day? Or am I going to mail it in and leave things be desired in the gym? And if you do it one time, these things add up over time. And eventually you don't become who you're supposed to become in boxing, right? Well, here we got Inoue, who has not been that guy. He's been the guy that's pushed himself in the gym. He's lived the life of a fighter. He hasn't been distracted by the massive stardom he's received in Japan. He hasn't let anything derail him. So any fighter that gets to this level where, hold on, where is it? Because I don't know if you guys seen that video, but like any fighter, right? And I like this picture a lot. I like these pictures a lot. But any fighter, right? And shout out to my man, I can't remember his name right now, but my guy who sent me these from Twitter, I can't remember his name right now. But anybody who gets to this level in boxing where you got ads, like I'm not sure what the hell this ad is, but anybody who's got an ad with a suit on, I'm going to assume this is probably for suits or classy menswear, suits and things like that. Any fighter that gets to this level, they had to pay a price in that gym, and they had to really be something special, because boxing, I know boxing in Japan is different than America, but like boxing in general, they don't get a lot of sponsorships, so if you can be a fighter that gets sponsorships and things like that, it means you did something right along the way. And Inoue has done quite a lot right along the way. I remember, like, what was it? He beat I think it was like in his 6th pro fight, something like that. He beat Ryoji Taguchi to become, and Taguchi was a hell of a fighter. Taguchi, after Inoue beat him in the 6th pro fight, went on to become world champion. So it shows you just how great he's been. And to do it like I've been covering Inoue, I've been covering the monster here on True School Sports since at least 2016. I think 2016 was the first time I made a video about him. So we're talking about 7 years of coverage here on True School Sports about Inoue. I was actually the first person to tell Sean about who Inoue was when I interviewed him here back in 2017. So with that being said, 20 fights, right? 20 fights at the world championship level out of 25 is just unheard of. And people have the audacity, the gall to question this man's pound-for-pound credentials. I mean, for Christ's sakes, y'all were oohing and awing. And this is what I don't understand about boxing fans, about some boxing fans, right? Because people were going crazy they were going insane. They were going absurd about how Lomachenko scaled this many weight classes and he won a world title in his 3rd fight and all this. But Inoue did the same shit. And I don't think he quite got the fanfare he deserved. And unlike Lomachenko, and I'm not trying to put Loma down. Loma's a great fighter, but unlike Lomachenko, he didn't have almost 400 amateur fights. So to me, what he's done in boxing, as far as scaling the weight classes, winning the world title early in your career, and then, having this crazy knockout ratio in world championship fights, to me, what he's done is unprecedented. And right now, we'll see what happens with Usyk and Fury and whatnot. But right now, if you said, BT, I think Inoue is the best fighter on the planet, I got him pound for pound number 1. You're not going to get an argument from me, because he has things like this. This is pound for pound shit. 4 weight classes, three-weight champion, undisputed champion, lineal champion, a crazy knockout ratio, fight of the year with Noni Donaire. I mean, he could retire today. Like, people may say I'm crazy, right? But Inoue can retire today on March 6, 2023. If Naoya Inoue wanted to retire and never throw one single jab or punch ever again in his life, he would be a Hall of Famer. Because let's just strip the name away for a second. If I tell you a fighter has 25 fights, he has fought 20 of them at the world championship level. He's been undefeated, 3-division champion, undisputed, lineal, had a fight of the year. Broke the record he just broke the record in Japan for winning fighter of the year, Japanese fighter of the year. He's done it 6 times already. So, I mean, come on, man, don't wait till he's gone to appreciate him. Appreciate this man right now while he's here, because many came before him and many will come after, but few will ever reach the boxing greatness and the brilliance of Naoya Inoue. And I respect him and I commend him for not doing what other fighters have done in this sport, as far as dragging his feet and delaying fights and things like that. So that's just my little 2 cents. What do you guys think about that? Inoue fighting 20 fights at the championship level out of 25. I mean, come on. Special stuff. Special stuff. Anyway, We got a lot going on here. So shout out to everyone here. Shout out to everybody from the USA, whether you're in South Florida like me or Philadelphia or LA or in the middle of America somewhere. I appreciate you guys being here. If you're one of my Japanese subscribers, I appreciate you guys being here, man. You guys are awesome people. I'm looking very forward to going to the Japanese boxing gyms. I want to train a little bit too when I'm in Japan. I want to hit the bag, and I want to get some work in when I'm in Japan. I want to, stay in shape when I'm out there. So if you guys know any gyms, let me know. And yeah, definitely want to meet some of the great subscribers and viewers that I have in Japan, because I get a lot of messages on Instagram and here on YouTube from my Japanese viewers, and it's just it overwhelms me, right? Because I'm just a kid from Dania Beach, Florida, who had this dream of covering boxing. We managed to somehow spread the word all the way out of Japan. So the power of the internet. But man, another super chat. Shout out to my man KP Vu channel with the 1999 super chat. Much appreciations. God bless. He says, keep up the unbiased channel. Here's a little for the trip. Get us some exclusive interviews from the fighters. I got another by 11th round stoppage. It'll be a great fight. Well, first and foremost, thank you for donating and whatnot, and I appreciate that. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. I'm definitely going to be going to gyms, and from now till I leave to Japan, I'll be messaging fighters and coaches and gyms and pulling strings and flexing my muscles as far as my connection to the boxing world to try to set things up so that when I go there, I have some things lined up. We can go and get great interviews for you guys because, I know that there will be, I would anticipate that there would be some American media in Japan for this fight, but I can't really think of too many American channels here on YouTube that have gone to Japan and actually have made a concerted effort to try to cover Japanese boxing at the grassroots level, So I'm definitely going to do that, and I'm not going to let you guys down, not one bit, not one iota. And as far as Inoue by 11th round stoppage, yeah, I'm leaning towards an Inoue stoppage myself. I don't like picking against Stephen Fulton because the one time I did it, he beat my friend Angelo Leo, but with Inoue being at home, plus the fact that he's just one of them once in a generational type of fighters. Like I put him in I look at him the way I kind of look at like Romo Gonzalez and Floyd and Pacquiao. Like he's on that tier of fighter, that very rare tier of fighter. But Stephen Fulton can definitely change our minds, and he's definitely more than good enough to change our minds. So yeah, man. Thank you for the super chat. Macho Pena, he says, BT, the GOAT analyst. Shout out to my man Macho Pena. Now, I don't know what that is in your picture. You got some belts. You box a little bit? If you box at all, keep training, man. Keep training hard. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For sure. Pop's raised a great kid, and it's cool to see him keep following his dreams while not compromising his takes. Yeah, it's hard, man. I gotta be honest with you. It's hard. Like I be going through it sometimes, man. Like even like recently, like the last 10 days, like, sometimes you go through the day-to-day grind of covering boxing, and I'm a human being. I get sad, I get down, and feel like you got to change things. But then I talk to people like yourself, and it kind of like lets me know that I got to keep doing what I'm doing here on YouTube. So I really do appreciate guys like you, Thomas, and I know you're in San Diego. So when I go to San Diego at some point, hopefully this year, I look forward to meeting you. Let me see. Yimmy in the chat. Yimmy, will you watch Canelo in the evening, and when are you heading to Japan? I'll be leaving for Japan. I think the date was April the 25th. I think that was the date I'm leaving. So yeah. And as far as Canelo, yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, if I can access to that, yeah, of course, I like that fight. I'm probably the only person in the world that that's actually excited for John Ryder versus Canelo. Everyone's just trashing the fight, but I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's actually one of the only Canelo fights, that I've ever wanted to see. So, with that being said, of course I'm gonna watch it if I can. You know what I'm saying? He says, One Way Street says, and by the way, I'm trying to get to everybody's comments. I'm gonna get to everybody's comments for the next couple minutes, and then I'm gonna go to read the last tweet I got, and then we'll cook from there. Please don't be like Dante's champ. I'm not trying. Listen, I'm not trying to be like nobody else. I'm not trying to be like anybody but myself. Brendan, BT. I quite like being myself. We got my main man, Daniel Rubin, Pro Box TV. Make sure you go download that app. $1.99. It's the best value in sports entertainment. They put on great fights. Hopefully, I'm out there come the 22nd for my boy Lorenzo Medina. He's on the Pro Box card. Shout out to Lorenzo Medina. Good to see you, Daniel. Let me see. I respect the daily grind of the boxer. Respect for the daily grind of the boxer is also, yeah, no, absolutely. Because, I'm going literally, I'm in the gym training with 2 professional fighters. My man, Eric Lantis Jr., 10-1, and Fresley Ruiz from Nicaragua. He just got here from Nicaragua. He's 7-0. 2 really, good fighters and guys that I think can make some noise in the sport. And just training alongside these guys, it would give anybody an appreciation for boxing. Absolutely. Let me see. Inoue is the great fighter here, not Fulton. Now, I want to talk about this because a lot of people get mad at me in my video, right? I made a video this morning. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I was walking around my neighborhood and just talking with the birds chirping and stuff in the background. And a lot of people get mad at me when I say this, but I really believe this. I really believe this. Like, if Stephen Fulton goes to Japan and he beats Naoya Inoue, there should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. At that point, he has to be recognized as a great fighter. Because, okay, you can look at his resume now, and I get where everybody's coming from. Yes, guys like Angelo Leo, Brandon Figueroa, Danny Roman, Adam Lopez, Joshua Greer, all these undefeated guys he beat, Isaac Avalar. That's a solid resume, right? It's just a solid resume. Although, I'm not gonna lie, I think Angelo Leo is a pretty damn good fighter, but he has to prove that some more as his career goes on. So, but it's a good resume, but it's not like necessarily a great resume, but it's great in context. It's great as far as it's not great in terms of name value, but it's great in terms of look at all the guys he's beaten. A lot of undefeated fighters, a lot of undefeated champions, a whole lot of substance in the resume of Fulton, right? But then, okay, you take all that he's done, Figueroa, undefeated champion, Leo, undefeated champion, Danny Roman, and all these fighters he's beaten. If you put Naoya Inoue on that resume, then all of a sudden it's a great resume. Now it's top 5, the top 5. Top 10 resume in boxing, top 10. I would say top 10 resume in boxing. Top 5 maybe, because Inoue, I mean, we gotta look at what Inoue is right now. Like, Inoue is up there, man. So if he gets that scalp and he's holding that scalp over, if he wins that fight in Japan, not only is he beating Inoue, who's a top 3 consensus pound fighter, former undisputed champion, just could retire today and be a Hall of Famer, but he's also doing it in a circumstance in which I don't think any American fighter has done it. Like, all respect in the world goes out to Devin Haney, but this isn't George Kambosos Jr. Like, George Kambosos Jr. had the belts, and he went to Australia to get the belts. Stephen Fulton already has the belts, and he's going to Australia to defend the belts, to hunt his prey. Come on, man. How could you not? If he beats Inoue, how could you not recognize him as a great fighter? I already recognize him as a top flight fighter just for the simple fact that he's behaving like one. A lot of guys might be great fighters, and maybe there's some guys you guys think are better than Stephen Fulton, but truth be told, they're not acting like it. So for that, that's what it is. Yeah, Inoue signed a big deal with Amazon Prime Video and replays it on free Japanese TV. Inoue pulls in a huge audience in Japan. Inoue sells out big arenas in Japan, and he's got big sponsorship. Yes, because I got sent those magazines, those Japanese magazines from a couple people in Japan. I've looked through them. Obviously, I can't read Japanese, but I can see a lot of sponsorship. So he's doing his thing. He's a commercial hit out there in Japan. So it's gonna be a lot. Just a lot of. I think, like, in America, in the USA, we're in our own bubble, and mind you, it's a big bubble. This is still the entertainment capital of the world. So if you want to become the biggest star you could possibly be, at some point you got to make a name in America. That's just the truth. But I think even some of the American channels underestimate just how big of a reach this fight's going to have. Because you brought up a great point. You gave me that maybe even I, and shout out to Gabe Lopez, even I overlooked. I completely forgot that Inoue signed a deal with Amazon Prime Video. So that's a big, audience. That's big reach that he has. So, man, I'm just gassed. Like, there's not enough things in the world I could say great about this fight, and I'm just happy that for you guys, I'm gonna be out there. So with that being said, let me get to this last tweet. Shout out to all 36 of you here. Make sure you smash that like button. We cooking here on True School Sports, the untouchable BT, the road to Japan. We're Japan bound. I got Japan on my mind right now. Now listen, man. Dan Canobio, shout out to him. He tweeted this earlier because this is what I'm talking about. This is the problem I have with people who want to discredit Stephen Fulton as like he's not one of them top guys in boxing. So here, as you guys can see, Dan Canobio tweeted the following, and I quote, including Naoya Inoue, the record of Stephen Fulton's last 6 opponents is 126 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. I repeat, Stephen Fulton's last 6 opponents' records is 126. That's 126 wins, 3 losses, and 3 draws. Now, I haven't went ahead. Like, I think it'd be a great study, and I might go do some research for an upcoming video. But like, is there anybody in boxing? If you look at any fighter's last 6 opponents, is there anybody in boxing whose last 6 opponents combined record at the time that they fought said opponents? Is there anybody who has a better record than that right there? Because if there is, then I want to see who it is. Because there's no way in hell. It can't be a lot. It can't be maybe no more than 1 or 2 fighters. No way. 126, 3-3? Come on, man. That's why I'm saying, like, you guys can't be playing with me when it comes to Stephen Fulton. Like, mind you, you're talking to a guy. I wasn't always sold on Stephen Fulton. I didn't even like man. I was talking all this shit when, when he fought Angelo, because obviously Angelo's my guy, and Angelo's an awesome fighter, and I think Angelo, once he gets his stuff straightened out, he'll be back, and that win will age very well for Fulton. But 126, 3-3. I mean, and it's not even the fact that he's winning these fights, it's how he's winning these fights, because the narratives before the Leo fight, before the Figueroa fight, the Danny Roman fight, the Adam Lopez fight, was that Stephen Fulton was this slick boxer from Philadelphia who had these quick, fast twitch muscles, but he couldn't handle pressure fighters. So what does Stephen Fulton do? He does what any gangster fighter does in boxing. He fights fighters with a type of style that the critics and all the narrative pushers say he can't beat. Oh, I can't fight the Mexican pressure style. Okay, beat Adam Lopez, beat Angelo Leo, beat Brandon Figueroa, beat whatchamacallit, beat what's his name, Danny Roman. And he's not just beating them, he's beating them most of the time in the pocket. He's not beating them being slick, moving, counter-punching, and as some of the hating fans would say, running around the ring. No, he's beating them literally in the pocket. So he's cut from that old school cloth. And like, while we're sitting here appreciating Inoue, which we should be appreciating Inoue, we need to appreciate Fulton. We need to appreciate him. Now, I know Fulton hasn't had the amount of marketing dollars put behind him as Inoue. He hasn't been pushed and shoved down our throats. He hasn't been as in our face as maybe Inoue has. But man, when this man's had the light shined on him, he's performed every single time. And there's something to be said for that. A guy whose last 6 opponents combined record is 126, 3-3. So yeah, I'm just giving the man his flowers. I'm giving the man his just due, because all I see is people saying what he is and what he isn't, and it's just, I don't like it. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. I got some member. He understands. I disagree. Fulton is a great fighter. Being number 1, no, especially not at 122, because unlike other weight classes where you can milk, easy tile defenses and maneuver your way around top competition, there's not that amount of money at 122. So you're going to have to fight the other champions to make the most money for yourself. So he couldn't duck Brandon Figueroa or any of these kind of guys, or Angelo Leo. He had to go fight these guys when the time came, and he did it. So That's what I'm saying. There's a reason. Exactly. There's a reason why I'm talking up this fight. And I know Inoue is a great fighter, but he's only half the reason why we're talking up this fight. Stephen Fulton's a part of that reason too. And don't you guys forget about it, okay? He says not five, top five. Talking about what? Canelo fighting European fighters that weren't good, or what do you mean by that? Thomas H says, okay, does Fulton drop into the Hall of Fame convo if he beats Inoue? Definitely a great fighter for embracing the challenge. Anyway, now this is a great question. This is an amazing question, Thomas, and I'm glad you asked that. Well, okay, well we have to before we answer that question, because my answer is a yes. My answer is yes. He definitely deserves to be in the conversation if he beats Inoue in Japan, because he's doing something that no American fighter in his era has ever done. He's going way across the pond, not as a challenger, but as the champion, to defend his belts against, a great, all-time great, potentially little man moving up. This is kind of like, in a sense, right? In a sense, you could kind of compare this to like when Salvador Sanchez beat Wilfredo Gomez. Wilfredo Gomez was kind of similar to Inoue when he was fighting at the lower weight division before he fought Salvador Sanchez. I can't remember the weight class right now. Somebody in the comments let me know. But like, go look at Wilfredo Gomez's box rec. He had a whole truckload of knockouts before he fought Salvador Sanchez. He was kind of the Inoue in the situation. And then when he moved up, Salvador Sanchez, and him had arguably the greatest Puerto Rico versus Mexico fight ever. And Salvador Sanchez wound up stopping Wilfredo Gomez. And that one win is, along with others, of course, but that out of all his wins, in my opinion, out of all Salvador Sanchez wins, that's the one that defines him, is the Wilfredo Gomez win. So I say that, and I bring up Salvador Sanchez to say this could be that for Fulton. This could be his Wilfredo Gomez, to where, yes, he's beaten some good fighters. Like Salvador Sanchez beat some really good fighters, and Danny Lopez, and will later go on to beat guys like Azuma Nelson and people like that. But the win that really put his resume in another stratosphere was Wilfredo Gomez. And the win that really put Fulton's resume in another stratosphere would be Inoue in Japan. So if he beats Inoue, how is he not getting into the, into the conversation for that? Because what else does he need to do? What else could he possibly do? Undefeated champions, going on the road. He's doing everything you ask. So I'm not one to play the race card, but if Fulton beats Inoue, and you're not like recognizing him as a great fighter, then I'm sorry. You gotta be a little racist. I'm sorry. I'm not want to talk about that kind of stuff on here, but like, what other reason could it be? Because he's doing everything you want him to do. Know what I'm saying? So shout out to Thomas for the comment. We got a lot of people here. Shout out to all 38. Shout out to Cool Boy. Bless up. Hopefully gets the win. Yeah, good to see you here, KS, in the building. Jamel and Fulton are overrated. Maybe Jamel. Maybe Jamel, but nah, Fulton is. I think Fulton's underrated. I disagree with you. I think Fulton doesn't get the credit he deserves. Because I mean, there's not many people in boxing. I mean, there's not many fighters in boxing, because we'll just say Brandon Figueroa and Angelo Leo, right? Those are two undefeated champions at the time he fought them when he beat them. Fulton, I believe, has 21 or 20 fights. So if you do a case study, all right, 20 fighters in boxing with 25 fights or less, how many of those fighters with 25 fights or less have beaten at least two undefeated world champions? That's I'd like to know. King Kuta, LOL, people forget that they said he couldn't fight inside. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, trust me, King Kuta, that was once me. I've been in the gym with Angelo Leo and seen him spar, and I know what he's capable. I know what kind of fighter he is. He's a very good fighter. And Steve Fulton took the fight right to him. So how could I see that and know? How could I be in the gym and see a guy like Angelo Leo spar so many times and know what he's capable of, and then see Steve Fulton the way he fought him, and then sit there and say, okay, well, he's he's not that good. No, come on. Fulton pulled out of that big Brandon Figueroa match to fight someone that started. Are we really doing that? Is that really what we're gonna do? Like, don't get it twisted. I like Brandon Figueroa. Great, really good workmanlike performance this week. I think Brandon Figueroa is, bit of an underrated fighter as well. But come on, are we really doing that? Are you gonna be that guy, Dundada? Come on, like, I'm trying not to curse. I'm trying to cut down on cursing here, but like, let's just call a spade a spade. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gave a flying fuck about Stephen Fulton versus Brandon Figueroa in the rematch, except Mexican boxing fans or Mexican American boxing fans that thought Brandon Figueroa lost. That's just the truth. If you were to poll 100 boxing fans, which fight would you rather see, Fulton Inoue or Fulton Figueroa 2? They're gonna tell you Fulton Inoue, and that's just the truth. Yes, Inoue. Well, I don't know. I don't think did he start at minimum weight? I think you might be wrong about that. I think he might have started at light flyweight. But either way, I catch your drift. Come on. Victor Lee, you keep doing this shit, man. You keep doing this. You keep calling Angel Leo a bum, and I'm gonna block you. You keep that shit up, I'm gonna block you. That's the homie right there. Don't do that. Philly is always going to get the win. I don't know about always, but they got some good fighters. Man, we got a lot of interesting comments here. And another reason why this fight is so good, right? Because oftentimes in boxing, you get fighters that or you get fights, right? You get fights where, like, there's people. You get people, right, that don't follow the lower weight classes, and then you got like the Black American fans that don't care about the low weight class, and then you have people that only like the lower weight class that don't care about the other weight classes, right? So this fight's kind of merging all of boxing together, and worlds are going to collide. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yes. Shout out to the number one, the best strength and conditioning coach in boxing, Omar Figueroa. Yes, damn right. Will the racists drop Inoue after Fulton demolishes him? Well, listen. I can't speak for nobody else. I think they're both great fighters, and there's no outcome of this fight. Whether, like, if Fulton got knocked out in the first round or Inoue lost all 12 rounds to Fulton, nothing that bad that happens to these guys can change my opinion of what I think of them as fighters. I class Fulton and Inoue at the highest level, So we're gonna see. Neither guy, like, anybody who's out here trying to say that this guy's overrated or that guy is overrated, like, they got an agenda, and there's just no two ways about it. Hakuna Matata says, BT, scroll up and let me know what you think of both Fulton's Inoue's combined past opponents' records. Okay, let me see. Where is it at? Or you could just copy and paste it, because where is it at? Oh, here it is. So Hakuna Matata says, Fulton's past opponents' records, wins and losses: 271 and 101, 37.3 percentage, low quality. Is that KO percentage? Be more specific. I'm not talking about his whole record. I'm talking about his last 6 opponents. The last 6 opponents. The fights, the last 6 fights, which is what mostly people in boxing are known for, is the last 6 fights. The fights against Roman, Figueroa, Leo, all those guys, But I catch your drift. You're trying to say that Inoue has the better body of work, which he does, because he started fighting top competition when he was, I think, his 4th fight. So if you do that, then Inoue is always going to look better than any fighter in boxing. But I'm talking about the last 6 fights. Who is Lloyd? He says, you're comparing Floyd to Fulton. I don't know if he's talking to me. I mean, I made that one video where I wasn't comparing Fulton to Floyd. A Japanese former world champion was comparing Floyd to Fulton. So get your facts straight. He says, "What's with y'all attaching the word demolish to Fulton and Floyd? They can't crack, fool. We shall see. We shall see." Hey, bro, what do you think of Fulton challenging Inoue to do VADA testing? Oh, listen, I think both fighters, I mean, I don't know anything about that, but I think both fighters should do whatever they can so that there's no excuses for whoever wins this fight. I don't want Fulton, if Inoue knocks the shit out of Fulton, I don't want to hear Fulton start talking about he was on PEDs. And same thing goes for, and I don't want no excuses. Like I don't want none of that. Like whatever we can do to eliminate, excuses. That's really where I'm at. Man, are y'all really in the comments arguing about? Are y'all in the comments really arguing about houses and properties and shit like that? That's funny. Inoue is about to do Fulton like Calzaghe did Jeff Lacey. Oh, okay. Well, we shall see, but we'll be covering it. Philly lost all major sports champs in the big game city. Yeah, I mean, they did. I mean, I'm not going to call Philadelphia a bunch of bums, but I mean, he's not lying. Like the Eagles choked the Super Bowl and the Phillies got, exposed. Who the Phillies lose to? The Astros, I think. If the Phillies lost to the Astros. So Stephen Fulton is Philadelphia's only hope, because we know the Eagles couldn't get it done. The Phillies couldn't get it done. The Flyers are trash in hockey, and the Sixers, I mean, they're probably not winning the title either. So, And then Dada says, "Not me, BT." So now you're deflecting, champ, and I put that pressure on you. He says, "Not me, BT," but the Fulton versus Figueroa fight was highly controversial on the streets. Well, I was there. I went to the fight. I was at the Park MGM that night. Thought it was a good fight. I thought I didn't see a controversial fight. I thought it was a competitive fight. I thought Brandon Figueroa had his moments, but I thought Stephen Fulton did the cleaner, more effective work in the fight. But that's just me. Who am I? Who am I? Let me see. Danny Garcia is Philly's greatest hope. You think so? I don't know, man. I'm gonna. Maybe he was at one point, but not anymore. But not anymore. Well, Danny Garcia. Not to talk too much about Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia was talking about. I saw an article on Boxing Seat where he was talking about. They talked to him about fighting Tony Harrison in the future, because Tony Harrison's kind of ranked around him. He's a former WBC champion, and Danny Garcia pretty much shot it down and said, "No, negative, sir. I'm not fighting Tony Harrison because I can't make $10 million fighting Tony Harrison." That's what he said. That's literally what he said. I couldn't believe it. So Danny Garcia, if Danny Garcia wants $10 million to fight anybody at 154, he needs to retire, because ain't nobody there is no he's not worth $10 million. Not anymore. This ain't 2015. This ain't 2016. They're gonna find something for someone from Asia doing great things. Look how. What do you mean by that? I don't quite understand your comment. What do you mean by that? I hope there's a broadcast in the USA for the Inoue fight. Yeah, well, for what's been reported, they're saying ESPN Plus. So, yeah. But listen, I don't even think that's enough, honestly. Like, I gotta keep it all the way a stack with you guys. ESPN Plus ain't enough for me. We need this shit on regular ESPN. Fuck Sports Center. We don't care about that. We don't care about, whatever the hell they show on ESPN these days, because I don't even watch ESPN like that anymore, because ESPN ain't been good for about 10 years now. But yeah, like, how sad would it be for Inoue Fulton to be bumped for like college football or a college football rerun or just any college sport? Because it seems like boxing, if there's any sport that kind of always messes with boxing programming, it's always the college sport. It's not professional sports, it's college sports. So we don't want to see no college sports getting in the way of our Inoue Fulton. Oh, Brian Acosta and Cesar Vaca Espinoza, if they saying he's on PEDs. Well, he's sparring them. I know he's sparring those guys you named. I saw it. I saw he's sparring those guys. So, listen, I hope there's no funny business. I don't want none of these guys to be on PEDs, but at that top world-class level of boxing where there's millions upon millions of dollars in status and money and fame involved, you can't really put it past anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should honestly kind of expect it. You know, you should kind of expect it. You know. By the way, everybody give shout out to Pops in the comments. I see you, Pops, in the comments. Wanted to show love to my dad in the comments. You know, he's really the guy that keeps me sane, to be honest, because without Pops, there is no true school sports. But everybody say what's up to Pops in the comments. It's always excuse for Fulton. The guys he beat are somehow all scrubs. You got people saying, wow, who's saying that? Who's ever saying that Jason Maloney was school with Stephen Fulton needs to stop watching boxing. And honestly, like I'm not trying to be like disrespectful. I make it a point to like really know, learn, and understand all fighters in boxing, but like I still can't tell which Maloney is which. They're both just decent fighters, you know. The youngins these days would refer to them as mid, you know, just they're mid. They're there, they're cool. They're nice, solid fighters, but like they're not anything that's gonna knock our socks off, you know. So no way in hell would either of them. I don't know if it's Andrew or Jason, whichever one. They're not beating Stephen Fulton. That's facts. They're not beating him. Not a lot of guys. Listen, not a lot of guys are beating. Listen, at 122, not a lot of guys are beating either one of these dudes, and that's what it is. In summary, neither both guys have fought anyone similar style, so that's what makes it exciting. Naoya, boxer power punch with majority wins via KO TKOs, and Fulton more of a boxer 1 point. Yes, and you're right. Like, I really do feel like the stars have aligned. Like, because yes, there is that caveat of both guys not wasting time to make the fight, but then, like you said, neither guy has fought anybody with a similar style, and I made a lot about that. You know, I hear a lot of people, because every now and then I'll be listening to some channels on the low, and you know, a lot of the Fulton fans are saying that basically Inoue is gonna lose this fight because, you know, he ain't fought that slick shit, that slick Black American style. You know, he ain't fought that slick shit. So, you know, we shall soon see. We shall definitely soon see, well, who's gonna be who. But listen, guys, there's a lot of I got some great things planned for the trip. I'll be updating you guys on what's going on with the Inoue you know, Fulton trip as it gets closer. I just can't believe I'm going. I honestly can't believe I'm going. 2 or 3 more minutes, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. You know, I'm not gonna spend too much more time because I did say I'm only gonna give an hour. So yeah, like 2 or 3 more minutes, I'm out of here. But let's get a couple more comments. King Kuta says, a lot of y'all in the comments said Fulton was scared. Y'all said he was ducking. Where is that same energy now? I talked to a lot of y'all 2 months ago, and y'all saying Fulton didn't want that smoke. I'm gonna raise my hand. When he started talking about the Brandon Figueroa rematch over and over again, I had a brief moment of time where I was like, yo, Stephen Fulton sounds like he don't want to fight Inoue. But you know what? I give credit where credit is due. I was wrong. Stephen Fulton proved me wrong. So there's no hatred here. He's that guy. When Donaire wins another world title, they better throw that washed up and old sediment out the window. They keep doing that over and over again. Like, Donito Donaire literally, after he lost to Inoue the first time, he beat 2 guys that were undefeated. 2 undefeated fighters. He knocked out Nordinu Bali in 6 rounds, and then he knocked out Raymar Caballo in 6 rounds, back to back. And everyone was like, oh my God, Donaire's a killer. And then Inoue beats the living shit out of him. And then now they want to say he's old. Now they want to discredit. Now they want to say all he's ever done was beat an old Donaire. Like just anybody could beat Donaire at 122 or 118, I should say. Or, you know, how many guys at 118 are beating a Donaire? Not many, if any. So, you know, put some respect. Have some common decency, you know, for yourself. Respect yourself. You know, put some deodorant on and wash your ass before you talk about, you know, Nonito Donaire and what he's accomplished in boxing. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, H Money, Mr. DAZN. Listen, he's still, hey, you're still Mr. DAZN to me. We in the building. What's good, man? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Got H Money in the building. I just think Inoue is a special fighter, and he'll prove that once he beats Floyd. Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen. it could be, you could view it as a real special fighter taking on a very good fighter. There is a difference. There's a difference between a special fighter and a great fighter, or a very good fighter. You know, there is a gap there. So we'll see who's who. That's the great thing, right? Like, we can talk until the cows come home, and we will here on True School Sports about this fight, because it's the fight that I've wanted more than all the other fights. But you know, ultimately, it's up to the fighters to prove themselves worthy on the night. So we will see in the coming, you know, days, weeks, months. But listen, the flight is booked, guys. I'm gonna end the live now, but the flight is booked. Your boy BT is going to Japan for the fight, bringing you guys a lot of exclusive content when I get out there. Last comment, and then let me wrap it up. BT, you was right, bro. Shakur Stevens is a young fighter in boxing. I admit it. Yeah, I've been seeing you going off on Bill Haney. I've seen some of your your animated you know, monologues about Bill Haney. So listen, I like Shakur. Hopefully they fight at some point, and yeah, that's what it is. But listen, guys, I'm out of here. You guys take care. Be on the lookout for a lot of videos coming out, because I you know, been kind of, for lack of a better term, lazy recently. So I gotta get up off my ass and start pumping some videos out. But yeah, take care. God bless. Inoue Fulton is made. You know, we'll be in Japan. You know, and like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from doing it. So until next time, take care, guys.